I am not the ultimate fisherman, but I'm getting there. So the biggest fish we've managed to catch on the channel so far has been a 5-pound channel cat. I know I can do better than that. So I set out to target a species that definitely gets bigger than 5 pounds. I settled on the blue catfish because, well, frankly, they're easy to catch, well over 10 pounds. So I set out for the goal of catching me a 20-pounder. And around here, the best bait for trophy catfish, hands down, is cut skipjack. So I busted some out of my freezer and headed off for Jordan Dam in Wetumpka, Alabama. The idea was shad congregating in the churning waters underneath the dam would lure in the blue catfish, and they would find my much larger piece of bait sitting on the bottom waiting for them. So I threw out 2 setups, one dropper rig and one standard Carolina slip sinker rig, and I soaked bait for a few hours. And out of those few hours, I only got 1 bite. That's a big gar. That's a big gar. That is not what I expected to catch today. No, I'm at least gonna get a picture with him. I'm gonna walk around you to this shallow side if you don't mind. If you don't cut me off before then. Yeah.
Them bad boys tear up. That's a pretty good size one too.
Yeah. Never caught one before.
I got some relatives live out in California.
Yeah.
They love it.
Really?
Oh, hey, let me tell you, if I knew how to cook them like my sister,
yeah,
I love them too. But that's a big one. Real careful out there. That's your son.
Yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, that's all right. You on the bank now.
Yeah.
You can act crazy when you want to. Better be careful how you hold it. Because I done cut my hand picking them up.
Appreciate it.
Oh, ain't no problem at all. I don't want food that big.
All right. So that long-nosed gar is unofficially the biggest fish of the channel. It's unofficial because I forgot to weigh the thing. You see, this whole thing is still kind of weird, even when I'm doing it by myself. Going out onto a public pier and having 2 complete strangers stand on either side of me makes it even weirder, because it's weird enough being that guy talking to himself on the pier. It's even weirder to be that guy talking to himself on the pier excitedly about a fish that most people consider a nuisance. You know, I really wish that dog would shut up. So in that weird, awkward situation, I completely spaced and forgot to measure the fish, to weigh the fish, to look at the second camera and talk about the fish. I did manage to get a picture though, so I remembered at least one thing. So unofficial as it was, I couldn't stop there. So once again, I busted out more skipjack, and this time I headed out to the Alabama River. I found me a spot on the bank in the middle of a river bend. So where on average that section of the Alabama River is, you know, around 30 feet deep, I had a hole directly in front of me that dropped off to around 40 feet, and just a little bit downstream is another hole that drops off to about 50 or so feet deep. So this time, armed with 10-foot surf rod so I could really chuck the baits out there, I lobbed them out for those 2 different holes, and Spent 4 hours sitting there, bored out of my mind, when finally, yet again, I got only one bite in the entire session. Oh. There we go. I've been out here for hours. I got out here at sun up. Fog still on the water. And it has been dead. No action whatsoever. And I was just contemplating giving up and going home for some lunch. And I finally got a bite. I came out here to go for catfish. Fishing off the bank right here. I'm in a river bend. This is the Alabama River. And anyway, the water comes straight at me right here and then turns and heads further downstream. So this river bend right here gets gorged out by the current. And so we got a pretty deep hole. That is not a catfish. That's a striper. All right. Well, I mean, action's action. That's a good striper too. I'm not mad about that. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so with the lip grip 16.47, we'll measure the lip grip here in a minute. Oh, stop it. I know y'all are sensitive. Stop. Undo your jaw. Whew. You know, very powerful fish, but extremely sensitive. Always got to revive them afterwards. So that is now officially the biggest fish of the channel, because I remembered to measure it this time. A 16-pound striper, which for me, that's really, really good. I wanted a 20-pound blue cat. I'll settle. Now the issue here is I set up the second camera so I could hold the striper up and talk to everybody, and the SD card messed up on me. Had no idea. It just quit recording like 2 seconds in. So I didn't find out until the fish was long gone. Speaking of which, I also didn't get the release, because as I went to release the fish, my chest mount battery died because I'd been sitting there for 4 hours doing absolutely nothing. So subpar footage, but either way, the goal was accomplished. I caught not one, but two new biggest fish of the channel. Only one of them being official, which is fine because he definitely weighed more than the long-nosed gar anyway. So a striped bass, 16-pound striped bass, is now our new benchmark for this channel on trophy sizes. I would like to still go out and catch a nice blue cat, because one, we haven't caught one on the channel, and two, I definitely think I can still break 16 pounds with a blue cat. The issue is my blue cat candy, that is skipjack, is gone. I'm out of it. That striper took the last of my skipjack, and the place where I usually go to stock up on skipjack in the spring and the fall, Walter Bolden Dam, was under construction like all year long. So they just now got it running now that it's cold out and there's probably no skipjack up there. So I need to locate some new bait. That's kind of why I'm out here right now. I'm basically just trying to find bluegill, just something that I can put on a hook. But once I locate some bait, we'll get back on the big fish grind. But until then, y'all have a good one.